the sound of heavy footsteps echoing on the asphalt, cracks spreading across the concrete. It's 3 a.m. You are heading home when you hear something that sends a chill down your spine, a deafening roar that makes the windows shake. You slowly turn around and see two yellow eyes glowing in the darkness, 4 meters above the ground. The Tyrannosaurus Rex is back, and it's not in a museum. Imagine for a moment, just a moment, that through some miracle of science or quirk of nature, the most fearsome predator to ever walk the earth reappears in our modern world. Not on an isolated island like in the movies. Here, in your city, on your street. The Tyrannosaurus Rex, 12 meters long, 4 meters tall, weighing between 6 and 8 tons. To give you an idea, that's the weight of 4 regular cars put together. With legs, claws, and a jaw that exerted 57,000 newtons of force per square centimeter. Do you think our modern civilization would be prepared to face this 68-million-year-old killing machine? Comment below what you would do if you saw a T-Rex on the corner of your street. Let us get to know our visitor more intimately, because knowing your predator could mean the difference between life and death. First, forget everything you saw in Jurassic Park about the T-Rex's vision. That whole idea of, if you don't move, it won't see you, is a deadly lie. The Tyrannosaurus had one of the best binocular visions in the animal kingdom, better than an eagle, better than a hawk. It could detect movement from over 6 kilometers away. Imagine this. You're hiding behind a car, thinking you're safe. But those eyes, about the size of oranges, have already spotted you through its peripheral vision a long time ago. It's just deciding whether you're worth the effort. The T-Rex's mouth wasn't a T just big. It was a masterpiece of evolutionary engineering designed to kill. 60 teeth, curved backward, some as long as 20 centimeters. These teeth weren't made for slicing like knives. They were made for crushing. When a T-Rex bit down on prey, the back teeth held in place while the front ones pierced. The pressure was so great that it could break the bones of any Cretaceous animal like they were crackers. And the jaw muscles? So powerful they could close the mouth with enough force to crush a compact car. Oh, but it was slow, right? Wrong. Completely wrong. An adult T-Rex could reach speeds of up to 40 km/h on open ground. Does 40 seem slow? Can you run at 40 km/h while carrying 6 tons of muscle and bone? I doubt most of you could maintain 20 km/h for more than 100 meters. And those legs weren't just for speed. Each step of an adult T-Rex covered 4 meters. While you take 3 desperate steps trying to escape, it takes a casual stroll. Now comes the question that can hold be ignored. How would this monster hunt in our world? First, let's forget about forests. The modern T-Rex would be an urban predator by necessity. Where's the greatest concentration of large prey? In the cities. Where are humans, cars, large domestic animals? Imagine a T-Rex learning that those noisy metal animals, cars, always follow the same predictable routes. It would quickly figure out that ambushes at busy intersections are much more efficient than long chases. Picture this. 6 a.m., heavy traffic on the freeway. Suddenly, a giant shadow casts over the road. The T-Rex simply steps on 2 cars, like they're soda cans, and snatches the third with its mouth. The driver doesn't even have time to understand what's happening. Here's what scares me the most. The T-Rex wasn't just pure brute force. Recent studies show that it had a relatively large brain, with areas developed for problem-solving and spatial memory. A modern T-Rex would learn fast. First week, curiosity about cars and people. Second week, testing how to break glass and metal. Third week, optimized hunting strategies. It would figure out that humans hide in tall buildings, so it would start knocking down light poles to break windows in low-rise buildings. It would learn that we make noise when we're scared, so it would use strategic roars to make us run toward its ambushes. Do you think a T-Rex could learn to open doors? What if it figured out how to knock down trees to block escape routes? Drop your theories in the comments, but it's at night when the real nightmare would begin. The T-Rex had excellent hearing and a keen sense of smell. It could track humans by scent from kilometers away, follow the sound of our cars, even detect the heat of our bodies through thin walls. Imagine the scene. You're at home thinking you're safe. It's 2 a.m. Suddenly you hear that sound, thump, thump, thump. Heavy footsteps drawing near. The bowls in your kitchen start shaking. You look out the window and see nothing but a colossal silhouette blocking the streetlight. Then you realize it's not just passing by, it's circulating your house. The T-Rex has figured out you're inside, and now it's studying your den, looking for the weakest point of entry. But we humans wouldn't give up easily. How would we hunt the ultimate predator? The first attempts would be with conventional firearms, but here we face a problem. The T-Rex's skin was incredibly thick, reinforced by bony scales in several parts of its body. A pistol bullet would be like a thorn to it. Big game rifles with large calibers might cause injuries, but they would definitely not be enough to bring down 6 tons of prehistoric fury. In fact, the wounds would only make the animal more aggressive and unpredictable. The army would be quickly called in. War tanks, helicopters, maybe even missiles. But how do you attack a target that moves at 40-kilometer range in an urban area without causing massive destruction to the civilian population? The T-Rex, with its adaptive intelligence, would soon learn to use buildings as cover. Imagine it hiding between skyscrapers, using subway tunnels as escape routes, emerging only for quick attacks before vanishing again. The strategy that would probably work would be a combination of modern technology with biological knowledge. Drones equipped with elephant tranquilizers in massive doses, traps with meat baits laced with sedatives, and perhaps most importantly, understanding the animal's behavior patterns. Every predator has weaknesses. The T-Rex would need territory, water, and enormous amounts of food. Controlling these resources would be the key. But do you think we would be able to capture a T-Rex alive? Or would it be necessary to exterminate it? What would be the most ethical decision? Share your opinion below. Now let S talk about the problems our 68-million-year-old friend would face in today's world. Because even though it was the ultimate predator, the T-Rex would struggle enormously to survive on Earth in 2024. First problem, food. An adult T-Rex needs to consume between 200 to 400 kilos, 440 to 880 pounds, of meat per day. Where would it find that amount in the modern world? The largest herbivores we have are domestic cattle, and they are all concentrated on protected farms. Large wild animals are scarce on most continents. The T-Rex would quickly discover that this world has far less available biomass than the Cretaceous. It would be forced to eat whatever it could: carrion, organic waste, domestic animals. Imagine a desperate T-Rex rummaging through landfills searching for scraps of food. Air pollution would be another serious problem. The T-Rex evolved breathing the pure air of the Cretaceous. Its lungs would not be adapted to modern levels of CO2, particulate matter, and chemical pollutants. In major urban centers like New York, São Paulo, or Mexico City, the T-Rex would develop respiratory problems within weeks. Imagine the ultimate predator having asthma attacks. Territoriality was crucial for large predators. A T-Rex would need a territory of at least 100 square kilometers, about 38 square miles, to hunt effectively. Where does that still exist in the modern world? Only in a few nature reserves and Arctic regions. Forced to live in confined spaces, the T-Rex would develop chronic stress, uncontrolled aggressive behavior, and eventually mental health problems. Yes, dinosaurs could also suffer from depression and anxiety, but perhaps the most tragic problem would be loneliness. The T-Rex would literally be the last of its species, surrounded by a world it doesn't recognize, with creatures, us, it doesn't understand. Some scientists theorize that large predators can develop something similar to depression when deprived of adequate social and environmental stimulation. Our T-Rex would be the loneliest being on the planet. But let's get to what really matters. What if you came face to face with a T-Rex? First rule, do not run immediately. I know it goes against every instinct, but listen to me. A sudden movement could trigger its hunting instinct. If the T-Rex hasn't yet seen you as active prey, you have a few precious seconds. Back away slowly, keeping eye contact, but without staring directly. That's interpreted as a challenge. Look for obstacles between you and the animal. Cars, trees, buildings. If you need to run, don't run in a straight line. The T-Rex is faster than you over distance, but it struggles with sudden changes of direction due to its body weight. Seek rough terrain, stairs, steep slopes, low obstacles that would force it to slow down. And remember, you have one advantage. You can hide in small spaces where 6 tons of dinosaur simply won't fit. Would you be able to stay calm in that situation? Or would you go into total panic? Be honest in the comments. After analyzing all these possibilities, we reach a fascinating and terrifying conclusion. The modern Tyrannosaurus rex would simultaneously be the most dangerous predator and the most vulnerable animal on the planet. Dangerous because it would combine prehistoric brute strength with adaptive intelligence. Within weeks, it would learn to exploit the weaknesses of our urban society in ways we cannot even imagine. But vulnerable because our world simply wasn't made to sustain creatures of such magnitude. Pollution, lack of space, scarcity of suitable prey, and social isolation would end up killing the animal more slowly, but far more cruelly, than any military weapon. Maybe the question isn't, could we defeat a T-Rex, but rather, would we deserve to defeat it? This king of predators ruled the earth for millions of years. We've ruled for only a few thousand, and we're already destroying the planet it once knew. But let me tell you the most likely scenario of all. After a few weeks of terrorizing cities, facing the army, causing worldwide panic, our T-Rex wouldn't die in some epic battle. It would die alone, sick, in an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of a city, trying to understand why the world had changed so much since the last time it opened its eyes. And maybe, in its final moments, it would dream of forests of giant ferns, of the smell of a young, wild earth, of others of its kind roaring in the distance. The king would have returned to a kingdom that no longer exists. So, Jurassic warriors, we've reached the end of this terrifying journey through the world of what if. If this video gave you chills imagining a T-Rex around the corner of your street, smash that Jurassic like button. You know we have to feed the algorithm, or it gets as angry as a hungry dinosaur. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because next week we're going to find out what it would be like to face a Spinosaurus in today's world, and spoiler, it would be even scarier than the T-Rex. Now share this video with that friend who thinks they know everything about dinosaurs, and let's see if they can watch until the end without hiding behind the couch. And tell me in the comments, which dinosaur do you want to see in the modern world in the next episode? Velociraptor? Brachiosaurus? Carnotaurus? You choose. I create the nightmare. Until next time, and remember, in a world with dinosaurs, you're no longer at the top of the food chain.